Jinger Duggar has put herself in danger of being shunned and cut off by Jim, Bob, and Michelle, her parents, since her upcoming book, which is expected to reveal family and religious secrets, could expose them. Jinger, 28, is releasing her memoir, Becoming Free Indeed, following her separation from her controlling family. The possible backlash Jinger would encounter from her loved ones is disclosed by Mary Murphy, a former acquaintance of the Duggar family, in an exclusive interview with the U.S. Sun. Growing up around the Duggar family, Mary Murphy, host of the podcast Out of the Shadows, regarded Michelle and Jim Bob's daughters as her sisters. After challenging the Institute in Basic Life Principles IBLP faith, she was shunned and excommunicated from their church, which caused her to lose contact with the family. With the publication of her book, Mary thinks Jinger might experience the same thing. Jim, Bob, and Michelle's response to the book will depend on the content as well as the approach, she stated to the U.S. Sun. Is this memoir a whopping? Will Jinger confront Jim, Bob, and Michelle? If so, there's a greater chance that Jim Bob will cut Jinger off and shut her out. However, I don't think Jim Bob will fire Jinger if her book doesn't damage the idealized portrayal of the family or the facade of perfection. The novel has my whole attention. Jinger is probably a few years into the trip. There will be another book in 10 years. Due of the lengthy journey. Mary expressed her happiness and pride in Jinger for sharing her tale. Finding your voice and regaining your agency both depend heavily on you speaking up and sharing your story. I'm not startled in the slightest that she's gaining freedom. I'm hoping that every one of them will reach the realization of the truth and be able to leave slavery behind. It doesn't surprise me. I'm overjoyed for her as she keeps going and becomes better. Mary believes that by hearing Jinger's story, her siblings may be inspired to reject the rigid religion as well. Everyone's journey is going to be different, the speaker stated. The pressure on the remaining ones increases with each successful breakaway. Yes, I believe it to be likely. It will simply require some time. Recognizing freedom. The mother of two married Jeremy Vuolo in 2016 and relocated to Texas from her hometown of Arkansas. Then in 2019, Jeremy accepted a pastorate at Grace Community Church in Los Angeles, California, and the two moved there. Jinger started to distance herself from the family by dressing in jeans, shorts, short dresses, skirts, and other items that the church considered to be immodest. Regarding what might have enabled Jinger to escape, Mary stated, "The more external voices and influences help to see what life is like on the outside, even going abroad and taking that time apart to get feedback from other people. Beginning to realize that life in my home is not like this. What's happening here?" Putting those inquiries into motion. Josh, Jinger's older brother, was detained in April 2021 on 2 charges of child pornography, which appeared to be the official break. Following a conviction, he was given a 151-month term to serve in federal prison, which he is currently serving at Segoville in Texas. Josh's father, Jim Bob, and other family members attended the trial in Josh's support, but Jinger and Jeremy spoke out against the departed relative. Their message, which concluded, "We are saddened for the victims of horrific child abuse," made Mary feel proud. "We also feel bad for Josh's wife and their priceless kids. We regret the disgrace this has brought upon the name of Christ." Josh identifies as a Christian. Many people will question Jesus' own integrity when he is revealed to be a hypocrite, even if they claim to be his followers. We are grateful to God for revealing Josh's actions, and to a legal system dedicated to upholding the innocent and punishing the guilty in this instance. The pair continued. We are appreciative of justice for everyone who has been harmed. We are hoping for further justice, proof, safety, and recovery. Telling her story, on January 31, Jinger's book Becoming Free Indeed, My Story of Untangling Faith from Fear, will be available. The book's synopsis states that Jinger recounts how, in her early 20s, she was prompted to reevaluate her ideas by a new family member, a brother-in-law who wasn't raised in the same close-knit conservative community as she was. Although he was devoted to the Bible, he didn't think many of the things Jinger had always taken for granted were accurate. His influence and the assistance of Jeremy Vuolo, a pastor, helped Jinger see that her life was based on laws rather than the teachings of God. Jinger made a commitment to read through and comprehend the Bible for the first time. She came to the startling discovery that much of what she had always considered to be true about God, obeying His word, and being holy, wasn't supported by the Bible. Becoming Free Indeed shares what it was like living under Bell Gothard's tenets, the biblical truth that changed her perspective, and how she disentangled her faith with her belief in Jesus intact, all while sharing her renewed faith of personal conviction. Away from the shadows, Mary, an IBLP survivor of the second generation, views the organization as a cult. She tells survivor accounts of people who were once part of the purported cult on her podcast, Out of the Shadows with Mary Murphy. Regarding her own survival tale, she remarked, "Up until my mid-20s, I was a stay-at-home daughter. I started to notice the hypocrisy in my own family, the contrast between our public persona and the inner workings of our household. As I started to recognize that in my own heart, mind, and being, I retaliated against that immediately. My parents realized they would eventually be unable to control me. To preserve their facade and reputation, it was crucial for them to keep control over me. I was banished from the cult and ostracized. I lost contact with the Duggar girls specifically at that point.